You ever wonder how to change the air filter on your Corvette C7? Well, today you're going to find out. I'm going to be changing my OEM air filter, which already has about 26,000 miles, with this new green filter, which should have a couple benefits and more airflow. Let's get started. After you open your hood, and we're going to locate the air filter box, which is right here. You can see that this coolant line is in the way, so you're going to be mindful of that. But for the tools you're going to need a flathead, a screwdriver, and a Torx T15 driver. So right here I have a 1/4 inch ratchet and a Torx 1/4 inch socket T15. Alright, so you're going to want to unscrew both of those screws that hold in that plastic piece that holds the air filter in. Has a MAF. Obviously here I'm trying to take it out, but you can't take it out without taking off the air dam diverter, which is what we're going to do now. I believe that takes a 7mm. So now that you have your 7mm, we're going to go ahead and remove the 4 bolts that hold on this air diverter. Now we got to take care of the other side, which has 2 more bolts. So I know there's many ways of doing this. Now that we have more space here, I'm going to first start by removing the hose clamp that's connected to the throttle body up here, and then eventually I'm going to remove the hose clamp that is connected to the plastic piece that holds the air filter, and then remove the whole pipe out towards the driver's side of the car. Now we're going to remove the MAF. We're going to unclip that little red clip and then remove the connector from the MAF sensor. Now that you have all of that unscrewed, you can pop off this tube out and then kind of put it up, place it up towards the top. You want to lift it a little as you pull out this bottom plastic piece that holds the air filter. It has 2 clips on the bottom, so be careful how you pull it out. You kind of have to bend it down a little at an angle and then slide it out. Make sure you undo those 2 hose clamps to give you the clearance for it. And there it is, OEM air filter, released finally from its cage. This thing was due for a change. Like I said, I had around 26,000 miles on it, but as you can see, it is dusty. But here I'm going to compare both the OEM air filter with our new green filter side by side. So as you can see, they're pretty similar. The big difference you can spot here is this opening. You can see the green filter has a larger opening area than the OEM air filter. This should allow us to get a little more airflow into the engine and help it breathe a little bit better. Installation is very simple. It's just the opposite of what we did earlier, removal, so it slides in perfectly, no problem at all. What I'm going to do first is get the engine bay cleaned up. It's a little dusty, so I at least want to give it one little wipe now that I have the clearance to do so. Let me just throw this little ball back at my niece. There you go. Let's get to it. I believe because of the bigger opening of the new green filter, the install can be a little tricky. So the trick that I found that works here is to get the right side bottom clip in first and then you slide in the left clip as well, and then that thing just falls into place. So here you're gonna see me struggle a bit, but I pop in that right clip first on the bottom, and then the lower left clip, and then finally I just kind of slide it back over how it should go, boom, like that. And then we're gonna tighten up those screws with the Torx screws, and it should be solid. So now that everything's buttoned up there, we're gonna go ahead and put back this intake piece. So make sure you tighten up those hose clamps, both of them, the one on the throttle body and the one on the plastic piece that's part of the intake. Now we're going to reinstall our airflow sensor here. Don't forget to clip in that red clip to secure it. And after that's done, we're going to start it right up and make sure everything's nice and tight. We don't have any leaks coming from that intake. So there was a little bit of a hiccup when she was starting up. She kind of, stuttered a bit, but everything's fine, no worries. You just want to check, make sure there's no air flowing anywhere, kind of leaking inside, being sucked in. Be careful with those belts I pointed to earlier. You don't want to get your hand stuck on that, so be careful having the car on and doing that. Honestly, if you don't feel safe, do not do it. But I'm not too sure about this gap here. I noticed. I don't know if that came stock, but despite that gap, I checked and there was 0 leak. So it's been perfectly fine for over 5,000 miles. So if that's the case with yours, I'm sure you'll be fine as well too. That's the end of this install, guys. So the same install applies if you have a C7 Grand Sport, or I think even the Z06, but I know the Grand Sports and the Z51s have the same engine, LT1. So all that's left to do is just replace this air director that goes directs air from the radiator up and out the vent of the hood. So sadly my camera died and I couldn't get video of it, but it's just 4 bolts. It's the same opposite of removal. So yeah, once that's done, you're basically set. I want to thank you guys for watching. I have plans to install a ported throttle body from Mamo Motorsports, and I also have an engine intake that I plan to probably install once this air filter gets dirty. So stay tuned for the install and the review of those products as well. And once again, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. And stay safe. See you soon.